In 2 Kings 1 verse 10, Elijah answered and said to the captain of the 50, If I be a man of God, then let fire come down from heaven and consume thee and thy 50. And there came down fire from heaven and consumed him and his 50. When God's servant speaks, the wise listen. Deuteronomy 18 verse 22.
Elohim, mighty God, lives in us. In the month of September 2020, Wiseman Daniel was led by the Spirit of God to give a message of prophecy concerning young people, especially youths all over the world committing suicide in various ways. He further stated that they would be hearing voices that they would not be able to resist or control, telling them to do harm to themselves. These were his words.
In my revelation, I could see that the love for the things of God is fading away in the hearts of young people today because of their love for their handsets. What they watch and do with their handsets. And those things make them become extremely depressed because it is the spirit of depression. Because it is the spirit of depression. And what God showed me is that if young ladies, young men, young people don't return to God and begin to have heart for God, by next year 2021, mark my words, their love for their handsets or electronic gadgets will lead them to acquiring. Severe spirit of depression and thoughts of suicide will be common among young people. I explained what I said here. They will be experiencing strong and irresistible voices telling them to carry out the following devilish activities of destruction on themselves. Telling them to carry out the following devilish activities of destruction on themselves. I repeat, telling them to carry out the following devilish acts of destructions on themselves. 1, kill yourself. A voice. You can't resist it. Only God can rescue you. When it possesses you, you see death as easiest way for comfort. It's a deceptive spirit. You want to go, you want to go, you want to go, you want to go, you want to go. When it enters you like this, you become hyperactive. You want to go, you want to go. You become, everything about you will be irritating you. Everything about your family will be irritating you. The next thing is death, death, death. It's a voice. God, 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 God. Only God. I repeat number 1. Remember I told you, let me repeat here so that I take note. Severe spirit of depression and thoughts of suicide will be common among young people. They will be hearing strong and irresistible voices telling them to carry out the following devilish acts of destructions on themselves. 1, kill yourself by any means at your reach. 2, undress yourself and go out naked. Start misbehaving. This is mental problem or madness. This will be very common among youths. This will be very common among youth. This will be very common among youth. Take note of that.
When God's servant speaks, the wise listen. Deuteronomy 18 verse 22.
Such a sad week, the news of the death of rapper Ricardo Mercado, popularly known as Ricky Rick, just 34 years old, an extraordinarily talented musician. And we are losing so many bright lights in our entertainment industry. Cooley Roberts recently, and then of course before that, actor Patrick Shy. So real concerns this evening about what is happening and why we are losing people. Certainly Ricky Rick died by his own hand, as did Patrick Shy. But let's take a look back now at the life of Ricky Rick.
A rapper, songwriter, singer, composer, actor, and fashion designer. These are just some of the many talents that Ricardo Mercado will be remembered for. On Tuesday, the artist popularly known as Ricky Rick posted this message on Twitter. That's the last time his fans heard from him. Mercado was allegedly found by friends at his home, having died by hanging. News of his death has been received with shock. Industry peers and fans have been taken to social media to pay tribute to him, some even sharing their encounters with him. The summer-nominated rapper rose to fame in 2014 after releasing his single Nafukwa. His debut studio album Family Values was certified platinum by RISA, the recording industry of South Africa. Mercado also founded the hip-hop festival Cotton Fest in 2019, which was set to make a comeback this year. But amid the limelight, the 34-year-old was also open about his fight with depression.
I've suffered from depression, chronic depression,
And those things make them become extremely depressed because it is the spirit of depression.
I've suffered from, a lot of mental anxieties that I don't like to share too much because it's like something I want to deal with internally.
He leaves behind his wife, 2 children, a mother, and 5 siblings. In a statement, the Mercado family has thanked the country for its messages of support and has asked for privacy as they try to come to terms with his death. His tragic passing has once again shone a spotlight on the need for mental health awareness and support.
We'll catch you guys on the other side. It's your boy Ricky Rick. If you never hear from me again, I love you. God bless you. Good night.
Severe spirit of depression and thoughts of suicide will be common among young people.
It's a little bit worrisome for the future. So this is the reason why we need to monitor it, maybe change our way of doing intervention.
Quebec saw an increase in hospitalizations among teen girls for suicide ideation and suicide attempts in 2021, according to Quebec's National Institute for Public Health. Experts say the data is worrisome. Last year, the number of girls ages 15 to 19 hospitalized for attempting to take their own lives rose by 23%.
One of the reasons that could explain this situation is that maybe the young girls are seeking more help. This is taken more seriously by doctors in emergency rooms.
Despite high hospitalization numbers, teenage girls have one of the lowest suicide rates in the province.
We had more programs to be able to spot young people in distress in the schools. Family doctors were better trained to react when they notice signs of mental distress among teenagers. And the faster you intervene with a young person, the less impact it will have for the remainder of their life.
Experts say the province's suicide rate has been declining for 20 years, but seems to have reached a plateau. The pandemic could be responsible for that.
Some may experience PTSD. This is something that has been experienced in other pandemics throughout the world.
The Quebec government announced last week that it plans to invest almost $1.2 billion over the next 5 years to treat mental health and improve access to care. But experts say that's not enough.
Even before the pandemic situation, mental health units and psychiatry units in hospitals were already at their full capacity. If you want to talk to a psychologist in the public sector, it's at least 1 year waiting to be able to do it. So in the meantime, what doctors do, they prescribe drugs so you can reduce the symptoms, but you don't cure people with drugs when it comes to mental health.
There were at least 1,016 suicides in Quebec in 2020, and men were 3 times more likely to commit the act than women. Men aged 50 to 64 recorded the highest suicide rate, according to the coroner's office. Experts say it's important to pay attention and speak to your teen.
If you notice that suddenly their discourse becomes pessimistic, they have a big grudge against their life and they don't see a foreseeable future, those might be signs.
If you have thoughts of suicide, call Suicide Action Montréal at 1-66277-3553 or text 1-855-957-5353. For children, call Kids Help Phone at 1-800-668-6868 or text 686-868. In Montreal, Brittany Enriquez, City News.
When God's servant speaks, the wise listen. Deuteronomy 18, verse 22.
And those things make them become extremely depressed because it is the spirit of depression.
A son to a couple who were killed in cold blood in Karura area, Kiambu County, was on Friday arrested as a suspect. Police said they arrested the son, identified as Lawrence Warunge, after he went missing since Tuesday when his parents, 2 brothers, and a worker were brutally murdered at their home. Now, Lawrence, a university student in the city, was initially thought to have gone to school, but it was established he had gone into hiding. He later led the detectives into recovery of weapons used in the murder. This story was produced by Gatete Njoroge.
Immediately after the gruesome murders were committed, Lawrence is said to have fled to Naivasha. His mobile phone signal was last traced to Naivasha, but switched off for 2 days until yesterday, when he switched on the phone again in Thika, and later the signal traced to Kabete area. According to police, the suspect went to a relative's home in Gongoro area to seek refuge. It is the relative, an uncle to Lawrence, who blew his cover. Once he was arrested, he told the police that his parents were satanic and cruel to him. Since yesterday, police have been grilling him about the murder details, and today, after a long interrogation, Warunge is said to have made a confession. Investigators say while being interrogated, Lawrence confessed to killing the construction worker first by hacking him to death. He later accessed his parents' house through the rear door, using a bunch of keys, and killed his mother. He later killed his cousin Maxwell, who was rushing to rescue his aunt. Lawrence says he later went to his brother's room, where he also killed him. Finally, he attacked his father, whom he killed after he fell from a balcony and became incapacitated. It is believed that dispute over property was the motive of the murder. According to the investigators, the absence of any form of forced entry or exit in the razor wire that surrounds the compound shows the killer or killers were well known to the family. It is believed that they made their way into the house through the rear door, where they found Annie, the wife of slain businessman and US-based Nas Warunge, and hacked her to death by slitting her throat. The commotion in the kitchen drew the attention of the second victim, Maxwell Njenga, Warunge's 13-year-old nephew, who was confronted along the corridor and cut in the head and throat. Christian Jenga, who detectives say was killed and his throat slit on his bed, had just turned 13 on December 26, 2020. Police believe Waruinge, the father, was in the master bedroom upstairs at the time of the attack. He rushed to the balcony on sensing danger and jumped down, where the killers caught up with him and stabbed him 34 times. And after being pressured further, the suspect agreed to lead the investigators to where he had tried to hide the evidence. He led the detectives to Jikaze in Mai Mahiu, and here the suspect, dressed in white protective gear, led detectives to where he hid the murder weapons. At this vast piece of land, Lawrence showed the officers a spot where he burnt some items in a bid to conceal the evidence. A knife, which had blood stains and which was covered in a piece of cloth, was recovered. Security officers kept vigil as detectives ransacked the area for clues. Lawrence is said to have come to this location at around 11 p.m. on Tuesday night after allegedly orchestrating the murders of his parents, a brother, a nephew, and a mason. The murders are said to have taken place at 8:30 p.m. The detectives spent several hours at this location before being led to this spot where there is a pit latrine. Lawrence disclosed that he threw some of the murder weapons inside the latrine. Detectives also picked a few items after demolishing the latrine. Sources close to those leading the probe say that Lawrence is being treated as the only suspect in the crime. Police have since established that Lawrence had a girlfriend who used to live here and moved out yesterday. The caretaker says he used to see the two lovebirds together. Detectives are now looking for the girlfriend. Items recovered from the scenes visited include a knife, a pair of shoes, a pair of trousers, a jacket, a piece of paper, among others. It has emerged that Lawrence was not in good terms with his parents. At the end of last year, Lawrence went to a chief's office near their home and claimed that his parents wanted to bewitch him. According to police, his mother came and picked him, saying he had mental issues. The matter was never recorded, according to an officer aware of the probe. Tuesday's incident was the fifth in the family, according to police.
And those things make them become extremely depressed, because it is the spirit of depression.
Residents of Muiga town in Nyeri County woke up to news of the death of Daniel Mwangi, who had been found murdered at his home in Muiga. His murderers took nothing other than his life. It was then that the journey to find out who took the life of the 32-year-old businessman began. According to a statement by the Directorate of Criminal Investigations on Twitter, detectives have been following new leads in the case for close to 2 months. The first suspect, James Mahinda, was arrested on the 20th of this month in Githurai, Nairobi, which led to the arrest of 2 other suspects in Embu County. The 3, who are friends according to detectives, had been hired to kill Daniel Mwangi in December by his father Wangondu Kanini, a Nyeri businessman. Detectives are saying that Wangondu facilitated the first suspect, who was his driver, with 20,000 shillings to form a team to kill his son. And on the night of January 1st, the suspects, using a murder weapon purchased at Amoiga Hardware, killed the suspect outside his residence, having received information on the whereabouts of the victim by Mahinda. Together with another suspect, Charity Mushiri, the 4 will be back in court on Friday. They are in police custody following a miscellaneous application in a Nyeri court. Detectives are searching for a 6th suspect, Raphael Washira. Martin Monene, Citizen TV.
And those things make them become extremely depressed, because it is the spirit of depression.
To another sad story, and a man is said to have committed suicide after killing his girlfriend in Thika in the county of Kiambu following a quarrel. The two were students at an institution of higher learning, and neighbors say they had no history of violent arguments.
For 2 days, neighbors in this residential plot in Majengo, Thika did not suspect anything unusual in one of the houses, until Tuesday afternoon, when a foul smell prompted them to knock down this door. Inside, they found the couple, both of them students at a university in the town, were dead and decomposing. Neighbors say they last saw the two on Sunday and they showed no signs of conflict.
Kwanza niliangalia last scene ya dem, nikaona last scene yake ilikuwa saa towards 10:22, of which I thought maybe simu yake ilikuwa imepotea ama imevunjwa, kitu kama hiyo.
Wakati lockdown ilianza Thika, Mimi nilifikiria wamechukuana wakaenda Gishagi. Juu kumefungwa. Pengine msana sasa ameshafunga shule na kafikiria wameenda nyumbani. Na kijana anaenda kazini. Tulikuwa friends wa karibu sana. Na singe expect vitu kama hiyo itokelezee kwa plot kama hii. Na vile anaonanga akiona roho yake akiongea kwa upendo singedhani angezafanya kitendo kama hicho.
Initial investigations say the man stabbed the woman several times before taking his life. The incident has sent shock among residents, most of whom are students.
Na sasa kwa vijana wenye tumejionea haya, tuache kushinda tukiuana. Mtu akiona mnaleteana shida na mtu, ondokea mtu, si lazima mkanishe na mtu.
Hao ni wanafunzi, ni kama tu wanafunzi wenzetu. Tunajua kama mko kwa ndoa, mko kwa relationship, mambo ni kuongea. Si kutaka step mpaka unatoa mwenzako wai. Tumeona si haifurahishi kabisa.
The bodies are at the General Cargo Mortuary and police have commenced investigations into the incident. Bridget, Ghana, NTV.
And those things make them become extremely depressed because it is the spirit of depression.
Murder and suicide incident which took place at Kamukunji police station here in the capital, Nairobi. According to initial reports, Constable Lawrence Ewoy shot dead fellow quick response team member PC Morino Achieng before turning the gun on himself, allegedly. Police are yet to identify the genesis of the conflict. KTN Crime and Investigations reporter Siraj Rahman Abdullahi has more details for us.
Kamukunji police station in Nairobi. On Saturday night, officers from the Central Division's Quick Response Team embarked on their patrol like they always do. And it is around 9:30 p.m. that all is said to have broken loose after an argument ensued between some officers, including Lawrence Ewoy, George Gitonga and Constable Maureen Achieng, over an unknown issue.
Alikuwa na argue na wengine wakiwa wamekaa hapa kwa gari. So karudi nyuma ya gari ya Land Cruiser, akakuja hapa mbele. Akapiga mmoja mkono, na huyu msichana alikuwa amekaa kwa kiti ya passenger, naye akapigwa risasi.
Constable Cheng was rushed to Kenyatta National Hospital where she was pronounced dead on arrival, while PC George Gitonga is currently receiving treatment at Kia Hospital in Eastleigh.
Huyo kijana baada ya kupiga hao wengine alitoroka na bunduki na tukaweza kufuata. Tumemobilize askari wakafuata. Akawa anatoroka akaenda mpaka Kitui Road huko industrial area, akarudi Mudhurwa, baadaye akarudi mpaka hapa kwa police station line. Wakati anafika hapa alianza kupiga marisasi.
However, sources privy to the matter told the KTN News Investigations Desk that the unknown amount of money may have been at the center of row among the members of Quick Response Team. Following the shooting, it is alleged that Officer Ewoy fled the scene of crime with G3 rifle registration number 9708663, prompting a search operation that led fellow officers to Shauri Moyo area thanks to tracking of his phone. He, however, was nowhere to be seen. Ewoy would later re-emerge at Kamukunji police line with no uniform on, firing in the air. The officer responded and injured him. He is said to have committed suicide during the exchange, shooting himself in the neck.
Askari wakaenda kuangalia wakifuata yeye. Alafu wakati walimsimamisha akawa na shuti askari. Baadaye alipigwa mguu risasi moja, na wakati aliona atashikwa akajipiga risasi mwenyewe.
The G3 rifle with 11 rounds of ammunition was recovered from the officer. More details are expected to emerge as detectives take a deeper look into the incident in coming days. Sirajur Rahman Abdullahi, KTN News, Nairobi.
When God's servant speaks, the wise listen. Deuteronomy 18, verse 22.
May God help our youths all over the world. Their future is indeed crying for help. What is the way out? The way out is for the whole youth to return to God and allow Him to direct His path. Because only God can chase away this very demon in charge of suicide that has occupied the heart of many youths all over the world. Even now, many youths are still planning to commit suicide. This is the reason why Wiseman Daniel has not stopped visiting the prayer mountain, praying for God's intervention in the life of youth all over the world. We at the Everlasting Light of Hope International Ministry are still praying for God's intervention in the life of our youth all over the world. God help Nigerian youth. God help youth all over the world. In Jesus' name, amen. Elohim, God lives in us.
Beware of fraudsters. Viewers all over the world, it has come to our attention that some fraudsters are going around requesting for funds from people who are too desperate and impatient to follow the right procedure in order to locate the right channel or the right source. These fraudsters parade themselves as representatives of Elohim Ministry, Wiseman Daniel Ministry, or Wiseman Daniel himself. They are fake. They are fraudsters. Please do not fall for their tricks and tactics. Below are some of the fake YouTube channels and social media handles created by these fraudsters in order to deceive you, our viewers. These are our official social media accounts and contact details. Our official YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/c/Wiseman Daniel Ministries. Our official Instagram handle is Wiseman_Daniel Ministries. Congratulations, viewers all over the world. We are now on Facebook and on Twitter. Our official Facebook handle is facebook.com/Wiseman Daniel Official. Our official Twitter handle is twitter.com/WMD Ministries. Our TikTok handle is @Wiseman Daniel Ministries. Our official website addresses are www.elohimonline.org and www.christstandard.tv. Our official email addresses are info@elohimonline.org and info@christstandard.tv. These are our contact details and they are all available on WhatsApp. Our prayer request line is +234 902 1470247. Our testimony line is +234 901 511 3002. Our inquiry lines are +234 704 094 5007 and +234 904 882 4874. Our partnership lines are +234 703 144 8611 and +234 906 141 4886. And do remember, all of these numbers are available on WhatsApp. Viewers all over the world, note that any other website addresses, social media handles, or contact details, apart from the ones we have listed above, are not from Elohim Ministry, Wiseman Daniel Ministry, nor from Wiseman Daniel himself. God bless you. Elohim, God lives in us. John 14, verse 23.